Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are listening. I am Richard Murray, and welcome to my audio thoughts to the women's game and reply to Football Crazy episode 97. Football Crazy has KL Murray on Twitter as KAYLMURRAY. Kevegan is on Twitter as Kevegan, KEV_EGAN, and Des Norris is on Twitter as Partido Pooper, PARTIDOPOOPER. Pertinent links are in the transcript of my African American Literary Book Club blog posts linked in the description to this video. Before I speak on the show, in women's soccer, congratulations to Olympique Lyonnais for winning 5-0 against PSG Feminine. The great dominant win. And if they defeat Chelsea in the semifinals over the two legs, one leg this coming weekend, on to another UEFA Champions League final and a possible sixth title, their fifth in a row, being only bettered by the male Real Madrid team through Di Stefano. Who will dictate the Women's U.S. Open Cup format? I hope it may be televised federally, thinking to Ali Wagner, but the format to the Women's U.S. Open Cup needs to change. It should mirror the dysfunction in the men's game. 50 state cup tournaments make 50 champs, then 6 championship rounds to the title round. I'm open to any thoughts. INAC Kobe in the Nadeshiko League, the Japanese Women's League, have some cute depictions of their players drawn from students, little girls. They're very adorable. Please check the links in the transcript to see. There was also an article on how the Football Association of England stifled women's soccer for 50 years, made by Gigi Choi. The article is linked in the transcript. Remember to read it. It was shared to me by Andrew Orsatti, side Steve Graff. Both their Twitter assignments are in the transcript. Now for Football Crazy segments. In the beginning, Tim Standard is in for Kevegan. Standard is on Twitter as La Liga Loca, LALIGALOCA. A minute and 26 seconds. Title denying segment. When I chose to listen to this episode of Football Crazy, Nantes was up 3-1 against PSG. That game ended 3-2. A great keeper like Gigi Buffon has this very poor defense, skill-wise, about him. But Tuchel's problem started when he did not use the correct strategy to save Neymar. Neymar got injured because PSG chose to focus on a soft midfield base since they sold Matuidi. It's a good notice from Des Norris. I didn't know Mbappe had stamped a player previously. It's very interesting that he wasn't penalized. That is favoritism. Mbappe clearly needs Neymar on the pitch to relieve the pressure on him as a player, as well as through the media. Thinking to Barcelona, Standard actually said, "Think of the children." I mean, um, you know, uh, think of the children. Um, K is correct though. Bench players are not meant to be glued to the bench. The players on the bench ideally are supposed to be equal quality, not just chose because the form to the starters is better. Juventus need a summer reboot in midfield, but also defense. I hope Allegri stays. I hope Valverde stays at FC Barcelona. Excuse me. But Tuchel for PSG must go. He must go for me. 9 minutes and 59 seconds. Derbies. Kay should have asked Standard to think of the children when he suggested Getafe is not a proper side to enter the Champions League. Real Betis facing Sevilla in the Sevilla derby was energetic as always, but I am happy Lo Celso is signing to Betis and not going back to PSG. He is not the midfielder kind PSG need. Neymar needs Matuidi's, Casemiro's, Paulinho's, Conte from Chelsea FC currently, World Cup winner with France, in midfield to be the muscle, allowing him to be the roaming free artist, the jazz artist, if you will. 15 minutes and 0 seconds, Atleti segment. Morata likes the Atleti system. Standard is correct, though. With Higuain not being a goal machine and maybe back in Italy, though I hope a Chinese team for Higuain. Chelsea may keep Morata, but I hope Morata pushed to be in Atleti. He is playing better in Atletico Madrid than any other team, really. 16 minutes and 53 seconds. Derbies continued. The Intercontinental Derby is the name, not Turkish Classico, KL Murray. Galata Palace is creeping. The race is not over. They're not an advantage. Başakşehir, Istanbul Başakşehir is an advantage. But Galata Palace do have a chance to catch them. Yes, I support Galata Palace in Turkey. Galata Palace is commonly known as Galatasaray. Case point is excellent though. Many young players snub Turkey where they can grow and reach nice profits on and off the pitch. Small teams in England or Spain are not better than top teams in Turkey. I wish younger players would think of that when they're making their moves. 19 minutes and 5 seconds, the EPL segment. I agree to Des. The Anglo media is pushing all the cards on Liverpool, and if they don't win the English title or Champions League, it'll be like the Gerrard year and the slip, which Demba ended Liverpool's dreams. Yes, I remember that game very well, old Demba. Great player during his time. I don't think he really got a fair chance, but Chelsea's never been a stable team in terms of coaches or players, in all earnest. Um, I repeat strategically. Every Klopp team weakens at the end of the season. Will Liverpool reach the end unweakened? And thank you, K. Manchester City have an extra game to play. Too many pundits aren't suggesting that. But will Liverpool not run out of gas eventually? I think they will. They have to. It just takes one game to unravel it all. The shame in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is that anyone who has eyes saw that the Manchester United squad did not show a healing of problems, you know, under him past the Mourinho era. You know, 27 minutes and 9 seconds. Quick Italy Serie A segment. I want Icardi at AC Milan. That's simple. 29 minutes and 7 seconds. Chelsea FC. London Blue. The problem is that the Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich chopped and changed managers so much that while Chelsea won many trophies, they didn't allow an identity to formulate and maintain. Now, absent the same kind of money to compete, they need an identity. And similarly, Milan's a similar way. They had a bad transitional period that have all cost them both. You know, 30 minutes and 5 seconds. Spain La Liga relegation. Standard is cruel. He wants Celta to go down to see how Iago Aspas will be influenced. I just want everyone to note that. That's a hell of a thing to say. But he did make a good idea. What if relegation was based on a bell curve? I mean, make an average on team goals, and those under the average do not make the cut, like in golf. Which means, depending on the average, if you have a league where there's too much disparity between the point gathering, then that means that the bell curve, the average, will tend to be like a tall tower, right? Which means that then the teams on the butt end, beneath that average, that third, will be many, you know. But if you have a more equal distribution of points over the season, then the bell curve will be shorter. So I think if you look at that, the bell curve idea has weight. You know, it forces teams to comprehend that every match matters. You know, um, Confederation of African Football, 33 minutes and 31 seconds. Confederation of African Football Cup of Nations segment. Media-wise, for advertising or sponsorship, the move to the summer and expanded team count is good, but I think the structure is still not good enough. I've stated it on my blog, linked to the transcript. You know, the structure to the Cup of Nations for me doesn't expose enough. It doesn't force enough competition. This new one will make more money. I think should make more money, shall make more money, excuse me. But I'm not convinced to the athletic component being higher. 34 minutes and 55 seconds. Crisis in all. As long as I've supported Olympique Lyonnais, it is not a crisis. People look at teams like Ajax one season or Monaco another and suggest that this is the way youth development teams are. The truth is, Olympique Lyonnais is the standard youth development team. OL is not a bad team, but like most youth teams, they lack experience, and it costs them as well as their untested collective response to high challenges. That is the truth. People talk about Ajax and Tottenham and Lille and on Monaco, but how many seasons these teams really not perform well, against the best challenges? And, they have one season and all of a sudden this is genius. I disagree to that. 40 minutes and 0 seconds, MLS and the USA segment. The whipping Monterrey gave Sporting Kansas City, needs to be spoken more. The weakness of MLS teams in the CONCACAF Champions League is equivalent to the weakness of EPL teams in the UEFA Champions League. Anglo media, meaning England, United States, Australia, hypes up Anglo teams to be great, but all of them are poor. Tigres versus Monterrey are in the CONCACAF Champions League final. Like most of the CONCACAF Champions League finals before, the Mexicans dominate. It's that should really be a larger talking point, but it isn't. 43rd minute and 5 seconds, Joey Barton. That's all I'm gonna give to that. I have nothing more to say. The power rankings. 10 was Leon, the Mexican team. 11 straight victories in Liga MX. That's breaking a record. 9 is Chukwueze. He's playing now for Villarreal. He's a Nigerian goal getter. 8 is Atleti Bilbao. They've had an academy product in the first team for 55 years straight. Kay mentioned, I thought that was a great stat. I didn't realize also that Gon- Gonzalo Higuain can play for Bilbao if he wants to one day, which may not be a bad thing when he gets a certain age. 7 Turkish Super League youth like Elmas. 6 is Norwich City leading the championship, the league right under the EPL and the English pyramid system. 5 is Guedes from Valencia, former PSG player, brace in Europa League and great performance in Valencia Derby. Again, I hope he stays in Spain. 4, and our team made a set of scenes based on Ray Hudson's sayings during his calls for games. I asked Kay about it, and you can check my Twitter for the reply. I'll add it into the transcript or link to the content if I get it. 3 is Lille, just taking a huge bite out of PSG, morale-wise, not in terms of lifting the championship, though technically Lille still have a chance. 2 is UEFA Champions League, Europa League, Copa Libertadores, and 1 is title denying trio. Old Barcelona, old PSG, Barcelona and Juventus all were denied a title this past weekend. And lastly, as I was composing this, Tottenham and Manchester City were in a battle, with that Tottenham having the advantage, and Tottenham won. Son from South Korea scored 2 counterattack goals, but a pundit on TNT said that the Tottenham goals are based on Manchester City errors. But all the goals are based on defensive errors. Sterling's first goal, the keeper was not set. A supposedly top keeper did not have his feet set for a curler from Sterling, that keeper being Lloris of France. The second goal, Tottenham's forwards did not make the sacrificing run to cover the whiff that Bernardo Silva forced. Too many players play the coach's strategy, not what is going on the pitch. The two goals, Son scored were common goals against Pep Guardiola teams post Barcelona in the UEFA Champions League, where the simple counterattack cuts through them. I despise shootouts in soccer. Some fans, maybe most fans, definitively most pundits claim they love shootouts, but that is bad soccer, plain or simple. Both Tottenham and Manchester City can't defend, and the Aguero offside at the end was strong for me in that the pundits on call didn't call it out. They acted like it was a goal absent any penalty. Then when Manchester City lost the call, the same pundits said Manchester City couldn't have done any better, and I disagree. Manchester City let in 3 goals. They had a lot more they could have did for themselves. Some pundits, like Tim Howard, suggested the forward play was brilliant from Tottenham and Manchester City. But how great is your offense when you're up against a poor defense? Ajax and Tottenham are through to the next round. That will be an interesting battle. 2 teams that are full from youth and mistakes. Tottenham will not have Kane, who like Neymar is a needed talisman, but in Ajax Tottenham you have 2 teams nearly identical from last season, both a blend of youth or experience, and a stronger team having stayed together. Football Club Barcelona face Liverpool. Liverpool have speed, but like Manchester City, they are poor defensively. but are only exposed by a powerful attack based on the strength of their attacking trenching, based on the power of their strength of their attack trenching in opponents. So that means Barcelona should have the edge because when Messi and Suarez are on their high, well, they're going to cut through anybody. Thank you for your time.